Bro, I hate rappers.
And welcome to the I Hate Rappers podcast. I'm your host, Greggy Westside. We are at the House of Blues today, sitting here with Bryce Vine.
You hate rappers.
We hate rappers.
Okay.
So, whole purpose of the show to teach independent artists how to learn some tips and tricks to navigate their way through the music scene. So our full tagline is I hate rappers, but I love artists. So you're an artist. That's how I view that.
All right, I'll take it. You slid by that real nicely. I like that.
Appreciate it. You know, it's
it's
always for the clickbait.
No, I get it though. I can't just be rap. It can't really be just any kind of music. Like it has to feel like it's coming from a place of authenticity with any kind of music. Oops.
All right.
Wake up alarm.
Wake up
at
alarm.
12:30. That's tour.
Yeah, it's tour life, man. So where were you guys at last night? You're in Cleveland today.
We played Detroit last night. At the Fillmore.
How many dates are you in now?
Tonight will be the 16th out of 32.
How many back-to-backs do you, if you know off top of that?
The longest back-to-back will be 7 shows in a row. It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. This is our second run of 4 shows in a row. By this point in the tour, everyone starts to have a little more fun because we know this shit now. We got it down. But we're also way more tired. Yeah. So the shows are become a little ridiculous. Like I say shit out of pocket all the time.
So how's it, I guess, learning how to perform? Hoodie took you on tour in 2016. That was your first tour, right?
That was the tour that really changed everything. I'll say that. The first tour I ever went on was with a group called Carmen, opening for them around little venues around the country. And that a few years later, Black Bear dropped off the Hoodie Allen tour. It was Nash, Kyle, Black Bear, and Hoodie. And Black Bear dropped off, so Kyle became direct support. And I went on Twitter immediately, and I hit up Hoodie. I'm like, dude, come on, man, bring me out. And a couple fans were like, yeah, bring him out. So then he hit me on direct message. That was really the first time we ever I'd seen him once for a college show before, but it changed everything, honestly. I got to give it credit for that.
That's awesome. So that was about 8 years ago now. How many tours have you been on total?
Crazy. I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. But every single one is different, you know? It's like you open for people and you have to be respectful of their space and follow their rules and learn from them on how they do it, because there is definitely a way to tour so that you can function. It's not just, constant debauchery. I don't even drink anymore. But you get your own bus, and then you make your own rules, and then you have your own team and you add to it, and then suddenly you get used to that, and then you start getting bigger. It's just I think people forget that it's a job like any other, where it's okay if it gradually gets better over time. It doesn't. No one has to be an overnight success anymore. And I don't think most people are. You just didn't hear about all the stuff that came beforehand.
100%. So I did want to ask a question. You kind of alluded to it a little bit. You don't even drink anymore. I'm not sure if you mean that just in general or on tours, but when it goes into being ready for a show, you got 7 straight shows, you got back-to-back nights, just the preparation of making sure your voice is prepared, making sure your body's right, making sure that your mind's clear so you can go out and perform and do your job. What's the biggest difference that you've seen since you started until now?
The biggest difference in what?
In the preparation and the mindset going into that and how to do that.
Like anything else, you just learn over time what works for you. Plus, we're all getting older every year, so, I can't tour the same way I toured 8 years ago, where it was all just for fun and I had endless streams of energy. It's this is a job now, and you add meet and greet to it. I meet so many people now. That's a part of it I never expected to be a exhaustion, because I like people. And especially meeting fans is always super fulfilling, because they tell you all their stories and you become their therapist in some cases for, a hot 5 minutes while you're talking to them. But I meet so many people now that we're meet and greeting before the show and then after the show, and you do the interviews, and it's just so much human contact that you have to know when you need your boundaries and your space. People always want to come backstage after and before the show. You need to push people away, not in a rude way, but let them know, like, yo, this is my job here. It's fun, and it's a great job. Best one I ever had, but it's a job. So you coming in here popping champagne bottles when I'm 13 shows in, you're not matching the vibe. Physically, I don't know how anybody gets through tour without some kind of sweating it out. You know, I do yoga like almost every day. I'll find a workout class on ClassPass in every city that I go to at least sweat it out. Today, honestly, I probably won't. Like, I'm 15 shows in. I did yoga yesterday, and you kind of feel it out as you go. But it takes a lot out of you, and if you blow your load like 2 weeks into the tour, it can be a really tough thing to get through. Yeah.
You got a new album coming out soon.
Yep.
Motel California.
Second one.
Second album. Is this going to be the first one independently?
Yeah. Yeah, first one independent. So the first 2 EPs that I ever put out, one Lazy Fair with like Sour Patch Kids and Guilty Pleasure. Then there was Night Circus that had Glamorama and Nowhere Man. Those were like, you know, just little independent EPs. And then when I got signed, we put out Carnival with Drew Barrymore and La La Land on it. And then everything changed because of COVID. Labels don't do what they used to do, which was like artist development. So that's why I went independent. I asked to leave the label, which is weird. I'll give you an example, kind of where things are at for the people that are thinking about signing or not, so they can decide whether it's for them. A label at this point is a piggy bank, and they do have access to radio. But they've made it so that they're completely reliant on a Chinese application that they don't control. So they've had artists for like the last 3 years predominantly just make TikToks hoping that something goes viral. Now, it works for a lot of people, and it's changed lives. It's a great thing for a lot of people. But if you're a signed artist already, it could be devastating because, I mean, I thought this even before what happened just a month ago where UMG took all the music off of TikTok. So now all these artists that have been forced to shamelessly promote in a way that would have been called selling out if you asked artists 10 years ago. Could you imagine Bob Marley going, if you like this song, man, you'll love this one, like and comment. Could you even imagine? But that's their artist's whole job. And then record labels prove that that doesn't even matter. They can force you to make TikToks all day and then still take your music down off of TikTok, the platform that they forced you to use in the first place. And now the shift is really coming. I got out right in time, I think, because I think major labels in the next 5-10 years will be a thing of the past.
Yeah, honestly, in your lifetime, you've seen probably 3 or 4 major shifts already. The first one being from regular physical copies of music to online and Facebook, you know, that type of era of music. Then you had the SoundCloud era.
Motherfucker, I ain't that old. It's not like I already saw.
Well, you're in your 20s, right?
No, I'm kidding. I am that old where I have seen it.
And then, so you go to SoundCloud, and then you go to the TikTok era. Obviously, the pandemic changed a lot. We're definitely about to see another major shift coming. What was the era of music that you liked the best for the artist, for how it treated the artist?
That's a really good question, but I guess I think the era right before the pandemic, honestly, was pretty good. There was still some artist development. There were still real A&Rs that really put their efforts into artists they believed in, and they had pride in that work. And then COVID made everyone nervous. And all of a sudden, a creative enterprise became like too capitalism and just in need of guarantees that you can't really guarantee in a business of chance like this. Like, how are you going to have artists competing with just like hot girls on the internet doing dances? Like, it's a different realm. You shouldn't even have those things competing for attention. So that changed everything. When Drew Barrymore came out was the last time that I remember an artist like me that was only selling out maybe 150 cap rooms, independently writing his own music, that can go from that and driving Lyft and then the next week at Billboard and doing VMAs. Like, it really changed people's lives, and now it does change people's lives, but there's no, as far as a record label's involved, you don't need them to do that for you. You can do it for yourself with a viral song, which is why I think that they're kind of rendering themselves obsolete now. But that period of time was fantastic, you know.
Yeah, it's when you got a lot of the people whose favorite artists were coming up back in the day. So
yeah, and there was mystique to artists, which has been forced to be kind of destroyed. Like, part of what is so cool about artistry is that you don't know everything about them, you know, but you connect to things that they come up with and the ideas that they pick from the world around them and mold into something that relates to you. And then you bring that with you for your entire life. And then you find out little tidbits about the artist and you get excited about what kind of person they are. And then when you go to the shows, you meet them and you really see in person what they're like. And sometimes it's a good surprise and sometimes it's a bad one, but that's part of the mystique. And now it's just, you have to put yourself out there so much. It's why I couldn't do it, because I didn't want to, all my heroes were mysterious a little bit. You know, like I said, I couldn't imagine some of the brightest and best and most influential acts just shamelessly promoting themselves on the internet. And I feel bad that people have to do it like that.
100%. And that's a big key in artist development, which you touched on earlier. As an independent artist, what's the biggest key to artist development, or a couple of big keys to artist development that you're going through now?
Unfortunately, you can't teach raw talent, and that's always the first thing that people are looking for: drive and raw talent. When they're looking for whether or not they're going to put their efforts into you, they're looking if you have drive and raw talent. And then after that, I'd say like a certain level of humbleness and respect. You don't have to be a humble person. There's plenty of artists that, for lack of a better word, dick swing all over the place, but they're really that talented, you know, that they get away with it. But I think my career has been kind of a slow uprise because I try to treat people like people and with kindness, and not forget that, like the fan that's coming to the show and paid for the meet and greet and stood outside in the cold just to tell me how much it means to them. Like, that still matters even if I'm tired. And talking to radio people and being, you know, just being friendly with people even if you don't remember them, and just being like, hey man, yeah, good to see you again. Like, I think that goes a lot longer away than people give credit for, because like being cool is so prevalent.
100%. And I do appreciate you coming on for the show, especially for podcast and radio hosts like myself and my crew over here. It does mean a lot, especially because you're one of the first bigger interviews that we're starting to get. Somebody
good.
who's actually like experienced. So we definitely appreciate that a lot. Before we get to wrapping up, your album, you don't know when it's coming out yet. Do you have any singles planned coming out before that?
Yeah, well, I just put out Saturday night, I guess now a week and a half ago. I don't even know what day of the week it is. Wednesday?
You're good. You're good.
Yeah. And we're putting out a live album. So what we did for this tour, the show is kind of how I've built everything, and people can do it in different ways. But from the Hoodie Allen tour onward, I made sure that my live show was like fire. You know, that you feel part of it, that when people come there, when they leave, they want that feeling again. Which is why I think the touring business kind of like started to explode a little bit. But the oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. What was the original question?
I kind of got lost in your explanation right there. I believe the original question was the like singles coming out. You said you had a live album planned.
Oh yeah. So because I built so much around the live show over the years, we were like, well, we should do a live album that's actually as fun as the show is in its own way. So I'm just taking a bunch of people's favorite songs, each city, whatever song they voted was their favorite one, that's the one that will be on the album. So Glamorama in Minneapolis. And then I include all the things that we talk about on stage. I throw the mic to fans a lot so that they get their moment, and we'll keep that in there. There's a lot of mistakes and funny things that I think people take off of their albums that we're going to keep on. So that's just, I'm excited about that. And then I just finished Motel California, which is definitely my best piece of music that I've put together. And then we'll see what comes from that. I guess what I want is to not have to beg anymore for anything. I think I'm just over that. I've spent a lot of my career trying to ask for favors from people that didn't really have any interest or investment until after it worked out and they saw the fruits of my labor come to fruition. So now I just want to, if I want Kane Brown on a record, I can get him. If I want to send a record to Loud Luxury, they'll put it out. If I want to write a fucking country song today, I can do it. Like everybody else, apparently.
I think Beyonce just dropped one.
Beyonce, Post Malone is doing it. Diplo. So it's like everybody's doing country now. I've always already done my own thing, so I can put out a country song when I want. But yeah.
Well, I'm excited to hear your country song when it comes out. Excited to
I
hear
already
the live
got
album.
two.
You already got two country songs? They on Motel California?
No. But Train is going to be on the album, so that'll be cool. I don't even know if they're country, but they've had country songs.
Okay. Awesome. Well, it was great talking to you.
Yeah, you too, man.
Hope the show goes well tonight. Appreciate you coming out.
Are you guys going to be at the show?
Hopefully we will be. Just depending on who has to go home and do what and what time we can get back. But I'm planning on being here myself. So.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm excited for you guys to be here, man. Thanks for asking interesting questions.
Of course, that's what I try to do. So, all right.
And now I have a therapist.
It's been the I Hate Rappers podcast.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Bryce Vine, everyone. So, I hate rappers. I love artists. See you guys.
Oh, real quick before you cut it off, because you did ask like what independent artists can do or something like that. That helps. I always tell young artists that they should read, that they should practice it even if they don't really like to read. Just find a book where the first page interests them, and if it doesn't, put it down. But it helps a lot with coming up with new ideas. Writing, not lyrics. I started a book maybe like 6 months ago with no intention to really like be a published author, but it opened up a whole different world of thoughts and ideas I think kind of go overlooked for a lot of artists. So if you and we get in writer's blocks a lot, I think, most artists. And then when that happens, you feel kind of worthless because this is your output to the world. So that helps that. Man, don't sign any contract where they haven't worked for you already. Like, everyone should already be working for you by the time you sign any contract. You should be seeing that. If a label wants to sign you, they should have already brought in the whole team, introduced you to everybody at the label that matters, the radio teams, tell you what they want to do, show you what they want to do. Like, already be having a plan to put in place for your record. Don't let anybody, like, talk you into anything. I never did. Like, I still own all my publishing because we only ever did admin deals. The difference is, when they own your publishing, they kind of own it forever until you can buy out of your deal. And even then they own a piece. Admin deals, you get it all back. So, which means that one day when your music has aged nicely, like wine, you can sell your entire catalog for a stupid amount of money and live off that. And you don't ever need anybody. to tell you anything. So those are my pieces of advice for future artists.
Take notes, guys. Take notes. Bryce Vine, I Hate Rappers podcast. See you guys.